Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
And that's one thing that I want Moorhead Parks to kind of take into consideration is this could have been prevented if it was strapped down. I mean, if it wasn't my kid, it could have been another.
A Moorhead child suffered deep cuts to his head after bullies dropped a metal soccer goal post on him. His physical scars have since healed, but his mom says she's most concerned about the ones she can't see internally. That's why she contacted our whistleblower hotline. The incident is tied to the dangers surrounding unsecured soccer goals, something we reported on in 2016. Tonight, those dangers still exist. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero explains.
These soccer goal posts are heavy and clunky. Now imagine one falling on a kid's head. You don't need to look any further than Jessica Posley's 7-year-old son.
Heavy for me to push over, so imagine that hitting a 7-year-old in the head and landing on him.
Zayden Smith had staples in his head up until this week, all from playing at Queens Park in South Moorhead.
He had gotten a gash on the top of his head about the length and width of my finger. And then he had gotten a gash on the back of his head.
Zayden's mom learned bullies dropped the goalposts on him. His mom called police, but Zayden says he no longer wants to kick back at the park.
I don't want to go to soccer field because I don't want my head bleed again.
The danger with these soccer goalposts is that they're not anchored or chained down to the ground. Since 1979, there have been 42 deaths in the U.S. and Canada due to unanchored soccer goalposts falling on children. That's according to Anchored for Safety, a nonprofit that tracks these types of injuries and deaths. A few middle schoolers playing near the soccer field say it should be anchored.
It's dangerous.
There's a lot of kids that play around here, so they could get hurt or something really bad.
One 6th grader has this suggestion.
I think the city should chain it down in multiple places so that it's secure.
Moorhead's Park and Recreation Department tells me they didn't know it was an issue until we contacted them, and they'll look into it. Yet Posley says that's not a good answer.
It should be something that should be done.
She wants change to happen so other kids aren't hurt and scared to go to the park, like Zayden. In Moorhead, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Moorhead's Parks and Recreation Department tells us none of the soccer goalposts in their parks are anchored down. As far as Fargo, they started securing their goalposts after our story aired back in 2016. This story came to us through our whistleblower hotline, and if you need help with an issue in your community, call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. A North Dakota man is set to go to trial after court records say he trafficked a teenager from another state. 33-year-old Dustin Giglio is accused of persuading the 16-year-old to engage in sexual activity during August of 2018 and January of this year. Court documents say federal agents took his cell phone and laptop into evidence. He's charged with enticement and transportation of a minor. His jury trial is set for June 18th. A man is behind bars tonight facing assault and drug-related charges after police say he pulled out a handgun during a fight. Police were called this morning to the M&H gas station in Jamestown on a report of a suspicious man. When they arrived, they say 47-year-old Ray Hunter refused to get out of his car, and then police tried to get him out. He grabbed a gun. Officials immediately disarmed him. He was arrested on multiple charges, including 2 counts of felony reckless endangerment, simple assault on a peace officer, and possession of meth. Authorities today identified the victim of last night's train fatality, but they still haven't said why he was around the tracks. They say 24-year-old Trent Alexander Mitchell was killed around 6:30 last night along the tracks near 2nd Street and 4th Avenue North. Investigators say Mitchell's body had sustained serious trauma after being struck by the eastbound BNSF train. This area is near Wildflower Park, that's in the Oak Grove neighborhood. A woman who was injured in last night's fiery crash on a Colorado interstate credits 2 people for saving her life. 4 people were killed and at least 6 others were injured in the crash that involved 4 semi-trucks and 24 passenger vehicles. Leslie Maddox was stuck in traffic after leaving work when the accident happened. She says she didn't understand what was going on until 2 strangers helped pull her from her car. Her right arm and nose were broken.
That saved my life. I would have died because I wouldn't have gotten in the car myself. I was physically unable to, and I was so dazed, and I didn't know what happened. You know, you're sitting there 1 minute, and the next thing, it sounded like a bomb had gone off.
The semi-truck driver who police say caused the crash has been taken into custody on 4 charges of vehicular homicide. That little boy injured at the Mall of America is now said to be alert and conscious. The 5-year-old was thrown from a 3rd-floor balcony at the mall. Officials first said that his recovery would be long. Now they expect him to be home sometime in June. His family says they're turning their focus on the additional surgeries that the boy will undergo in the healing process. They also want to thank the 28,000 plus individuals and families who have donated to the GoFundMe page.
Your love and generosity overwhelms and means so much to us. We have no idea where we would be without you. God and your prayers have sustained us.
The man charged with throwing the boy over the balcony faces an attempted premeditated first-degree murder charge. He remains in jail tonight on a $2 million bond.
They said that you're in a GED program, not school. And I was like, I'm in school, it's just not public.
Last night we told you about a teenager who isn't being allowed to attend prom at Cheyenne High School in West Fargo because she's a GED student. It's something spelled out in district policy regarding a prom guest. Well, today it caught the attention of the state of North Dakota. An official with the Department of Public Instruction told us the GED is the equivalent of a high school diploma in the state. And while there's no state policy about who can attend prom, they tell us they are working with the principal of Cheyenne to help craft a policy that would allow GED students in good standing to attend the Cheyenne prom. Cheyenne's principal tells us that they are not questioning the GED program. They just need to make sure it's equivalent to the high schools and that the student is in good standing. As for that 16-year-old girl who is not allowed to attend, she will be staying home tomorrow night. A cell phone appeared to be thrown on stage as President Trump approached the podium to speak at the National Rifle Association's annual meeting today. The president was in Indianapolis to speak at the NRA's annual national convention. As he walked across the stage toward the podium, an object can be seen coming toward the stage from the audience. The Secret Service says a cell phone from the crowd landed on the opposite side of the stage. They also said that an individual was removed from the event. Hundreds of people gathered today in Pine City, Minnesota for the funeral of DNR Conservation Officer Eugene Wynn. It was on April 19th that Wynn was thrown from a boat on Cross Lake as he and Pine County Sheriff's deputies responded to the call of a body in the water. Jennifer Austin has our story.
Along Main Street in Pine City,
when this happens, it just tears at everybody's heartstrings.
a line of law enforcement met the casket-carrying conservation officer Eugene Wynn. A somber salute before saying goodbye.
Sad to say we've seen too many of these.
He lost his life in line of duty. We want to make sure we remember him and honor him today for giving the ultimate sacrifice.
At least 70 agencies from across Minnesota, 25 from out of state, came to the Pine City Civic Center to pay their respects.
And hopefully that the family sees that, and I know they do, that their support, people are here for them to get them through this difficult time.
Just to kind of show, hey, thank you for what you've done for us.
A final call.
This is the final call for Q297, Conservation Officer Eugene Wynn.
And in the sky above, a tribute to the man who spent 18 years patrolling the land and water below.
We want to really honor them as best we can.
Officer Wynn was the 22nd Minnesota conservation officer to die in the line of duty.